I'm waiting for it.
Well, congratulations. I guess first and foremost, how do you feel after the result?
Чувствую себя прекрасно. Спасибо большое за поздравления. Хорошо себя чувствую. Бой прошел так, как мы планировали. Все прекрасно. Спасибо.
Thank you very much. I feel great. The fight pretty much went the way we expected. I feel great and ready to move on.
We knew it was going to be a stand-up fight, but it was a little more tactical, a little bit more patient. Was that something that you wanted to do, or is that just the way it kind of played out?
Да, это был план на бой. Мы разобрали его полностью. Я знал, что он будет делать в бою. Мы с тренерами еще с самого начала выстраиваем тактику, расписываем это все и двигаемся по плану. И все, что я сегодня увидел, я увидел с первых же его боев, когда смотрел дома. То есть оправдалась моя тактика.
Yeah, everything pretty much went the way we expected. We had a certain plan, and pretty much I saw it unfolding today. We analyzed what things might go, and from the first round, I realized, okay, that's pretty much what we expected, and I act accordingly.
Very nice. And obviously, a very weird ending to the fight. I guess, can you tell us, what you saw, and did you know what was unfolding as it was all kind of playing out?
Вы примерно поняли уже, как бой закончился. Сначала было какое-то непонятное, недопонимание. Когда остановили бой, вы поняли уже, что произошло и что, возможно, это будет уже концом?
Я не понял, что это будет конец, но я однозначно понимал, что удар был легальный. И я понимал, что я пробил ему корпус. Потому что до этого во втором раунде я ударил хороший удар коленом в корпус. И когда судья остановил, я подумал, что бой закончился. И когда увидел, нет, первая мысль, я подумал, что я пробил ему корпус, и судья останавливает, я ему хочу объяснить о том, что я пробил корпус, и я понимал, что Тофик уже, наверное, не сможет продолжить, потому что удар был очень плотный. И потом мои секунданты мне сказали, успокойся, постой, успокойся, и все, и бой закончился.
Well, I realized that something serious happened. I didn't know exactly what happened. I don't know if you noticed early in the fight when we were scrambling, I kicked him with a knee in the cage. So I didn't know whether that was after effect of that. But then again, once I kicked him with a leg, and I realized I punctured him. So I kind of wanted to talk to a judge to explain, hey, I didn't kick him to the groin. But my team told me okay, calm down. We'll see how things unfold, and you see the outcome now.
It looked like you were saying to look at the replay. Were you trying to tell Jay Sarzar to check it out?
First time.
Very nice. All right. So I guess, now you're advanced. I guess, what do? Is it about resting? Is it about going straight to camp and getting ready? Because we don't know.
I kind of wanted to talk.
What's the plan from here?
Какой следующий план? Потому что мы же не знаем, да, теперь какой будет. Вы пойдете отдохнуть или сразу вернетесь опять заниматься?
План такой, что этот год должен быть для меня такой упорный, насыщенный. Я не собираюсь отдыхать. Я приеду домой, восстановлюсь после этого лагеря, там возьму паузу на неделю, буду ждать своего следующего соперника. И Джей Маккей, Питбуль, мне разницы нет, кто это будет. Как только мне дадут соперника, я начну под него готовиться, выстрою подготовку и выйду и буду также раскладывать его по запчастям.
Well, I definitely know it's going to be a busy year, so I'm not planning to rest too much. Maybe I'm going to go home, stay there for a week or so, see family. But yeah, we're going to wait for the next announcement, who's going to be the next opponent, whether it's Maki, and then we're going to start training right away because I don't want to waste any time.
Nice. And last thing for me, I guess, I know you said you'd take them both on, but is there one that you'd prefer to fight or that you think is going to win?
Предпочтений нет, и я могу в один вечер с ними двоими подраться. Пускай один выходит, потом второй выходит. Разницы нет. У меня проходят такие жесткие спарринги в моем зале. И у меня дома, и в American Top Team. Я работаю с одними из самых лучших ребят вообще во всем мире, поэтому разницы нет, кто это будет и сколько их будет.
Yeah, I don't have really preference. Again, as I said, I might have one and then give me the other one right after. I train with American Top Team. We have top guys. So, I've seen it all. I've seen really great guys. And either one of those kind of going to be on the level of the guys we're already trained with. So I don't have really preference. Either one is worthy.
За эту подготовку я пропустил ударов больше, чем в этом бою.
Preparing and training for this fight, I had more punches to my head than I got within this fight.
Представьте, я боксирую, я дерусь 70 килограмм, вот мой спарринг-партнер весит 90 килограмм, 5-кратный чемпион мира по тайскому боксу.
Yeah, the people I train with, like for example, take my coach. I'm 70 kilos, he's 90. But he's striking me in the head. You know, it's much heavier than the guys that I'm facing. So yeah, I've seen it all.
Did you get a chance to see the main event? Did you have any thoughts on Usman's win tonight?
Была возможность увидеть финальный бой.
Хороший бой. Поздравляю Усмана, прекрасная победа. Бен Хендерсон замечательный парень, хороший боец, у него большая история. И хочу пожелать ему успеха в жизни, потому что он оставил бойцовскую карьеру. Возможно, он себя найдет в тренерской карьере. Желаю ему всего самого хорошего.
Well done by Usman. Definitely great job dominating. Very powerful. And I would like to say my best wishes to Ben Henderson. He is also a great guy. Well, I know what's lined up for him next, maybe a training, coaching career, but I hope it all plays all well for him.
Alexander, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on an incredible career. I know, I'm sure the emotions are a little high right now, but I don't know, just what's running through your mind as you wrap up a career.
I have a bad job. I do a bad job of stopping to smell the roses and appreciating everything. The last couple of fights in my career, I realized I knew that they were going to be, towards the end of them, some of the last fights that I had. So just trying to appreciate the walkout, appreciate the fans, appreciate sitting here right now talking to you guys, because this will probably be the last time I ever do this, So just trying to stop and smell the roses and really appreciate everything has been my big thing the last 3, 4, 5 fights or so. And right now tonight, leaving that cage, just trying to appreciate it, man.
I bet. Obviously things didn't go the way you wanted them to go tonight. I guess talk about the fight itself. I mean, a beautiful kick, I guess, kind of changed everything.
Yeah. Great kick by Usman. Awesome. Great job. Came out traditional. We're expecting to come out southpaw. Maybe tended to stand southpaw more, but he came out traditional. So I was going to kick his body and kick his leg. I got off one inside leg kick. Didn't land super square, but it landed okay. He threw 2 kicks. I checked one, kind of moved back on it. And then he threw a rear leg question mark kick, and not too many people have the dexterity, the skill set to throw a rear leg, especially like a body kick, rear leg question mark kick. I didn't land it flush, landed clean. He got me with his freaking toes right around my jaw, and I woke up and he was on my back punching down on me. I was like, oh man, something bad happened. I don't know if you guys have ever happened to you, but it has happened a couple of times where you kind of wake up in the middle of a fight, you come to a little bit and you're in a different position. I knew him on my back was not a good position. I woke up there a little bit. I was like, oh, dang it. He landed some good shots from back. He was not exactly back of the head, but he landed some good shots from the back. I was like, oh, hey, ref, look at that. And then crossed his feet. I was like, oh, jiu-jitsu 101, don't cross your feet. I caught it with my wrong leg, didn't work at all. You do it just to get them to uncross their legs. He did uncross his legs for a moment, so it worked in that aspect. But and then when he was on my back and he had the rear naked in, I do a pretty darn good job of when guys are on my back. But he was love you, Kogan.
Take a minute. Just all kind of settling in now.
Yeah.
Total reality.
But yeah, Usman was on my back. Normally, do a pretty good job of back defense, but he cemented his position of his chest being on my back, and I wasn't able to turn my shoulders to the ground. Once he had the rear naked in, you guys can have the rear naked, and as long as you're able to turn your shoulders, get their shoulders square off of your back, chest to back position. But he did a good job of securing his chest to my back, and I couldn't wiggle anymore to scrape him off of my back, and that's when I knew that it had at the end. Then I started going woozy just a little bit, like, oh mother. then I tapped after that.
Obviously, it shows the skill that he brings. We know you're the unchokable Benson Henderson, so it shows the skill that he has. But I guess you've had an amazing career, Hall of Famer, legend. Now you turn it over to your wife, right? I know you said you're going to let her focus. Will you be in the corner? Like, it will be active where you're helping her? Do you kind of let the coaches handle that and you just handle family? Like, what's the plan?
I'll be around. I'll be in the gym. I own the gym with my coach John Crouch and I'll be helping out with the guys and doing this and that. But majority of my time will be taking care of the kids so that she can train more. It is I signed the deal with Bellator, and I told myself, anytime you lose during these 4 fights, then that's probably it. So that's what happened. So time to lay the gloves down, but yeah, I'll still be around, I'll still be helping guys out. I love my team. We have the hardest working gym in the world, bar none, hands down, no ands, ifs, or buts about it. We have the hardest working gym in the world. My little brothers, my little sisters, I love them to death, and I'll be there to help them out, and I'll do what I can, but it is my wife's turn to shine, her turn to practice 3-4 times a day, get after it, so I leave that to her, and I'll be taking care of the majority of the, taking care of the kids, but I'll still be in the gym, still helping out with my team, and of course help my wife out and stuff.
Last thing for me, how do you want to be remembered as a fighter? I mean, your legacy, obviously a former UFC champ, former WC champ. I mean, that stuff can't never be taken away, but is it your accomplishments? Is it your character? Like, what do you want your legacy to be?
Oh man, I don't know. I've gotten that question a lot the past year, 2 years or so. I'll leave it to you pundits. I'll leave it to you guys to give my career scope and put some cool words to it and all that stuff. I'm not really sure. I don't. If anything, I would say that the thing I'm highest on in this life is hard work. I don't care what it is you do, whether you're a journalist, whether you're a cameraman, whether you're a fighter, it doesn't matter what you do. You're a Uber driver. It's all about how hard you work in life. It's all about how hard you work, hard work. So I think maybe for my career, I just want to be known as the guy who worked his butt off. I was never the fastest. I was never the strongest. I was never the most this, most that. I was never the number 1 draft pick. Not ever in my life. I was always a 7th round draft pick, and I was able to, have a pretty good career. And I was able to do that by just working my butt off. I was never the top pick for anything ever. I was always the smallest, one of the slowest, not very strong, a little bit flexible, had good balance, but I was never a top pick for any of my school, high school, college, even for MMA. Like, I was never a top pick, but I worked my butt off. I worked nonstop to get to where I am and to accomplish some of the things that I accomplished, and hard work, maybe.
Hey, Benson, if you could go back in time and speak to yourself when you were starting MMA, what advice would you give yourself?
Oh man, invest in Google, invest in Tesla. In the way that you're talking about it.
Good answers.
Yeah. Maybe the only thing I would have told myself, like a lot of older people, now myself older in this MMA game, would be to actually just appreciate all of it. Like, really to just, I took it for granted. Not took it for granted, but I had a pretty good career early on. And I did some good, amazing things early on. I was a world champion, before the age of 24. So like, oh man, yeah, I just kind of got used to it. But I didn't really appreciate, getting flown to here, first class, going over here and doing these things and talking to media. It was always such a drag, such a, like, oh man, I want to talk to these guys again. Like, oh, like I'm so much better than or whatever. I'm like, hey, and now, like looking back, like all the, older folks will say, yeah, you gotta appreciate these things. So stopping to smell the roses throughout my entire career, not just wait till the end and then, okay, now I appreciate this and that, but learning to appreciate it from the very beginning. Because those memories, man, if you just kind of gloss over them, you just forget about them. Like those are some of so about loving the journey, loving the process, not just the end result and getting the belt there, but those 2, 3 years, 4 years, that getting the belt, enjoying that process, enjoying the journey, loving what it is you do, and appreciating.
I mean, just to springboard off that a little bit, like how clearly are your memories like of all your fights? Is it pretty like
Not good at all.
not good?
I have to ask my wife. She'll be happy to tell you I have a terrible memory. So when someone like she'll be talking about, oh yeah, and this and that, we went over here to this restaurant in San Jose. I was like, yeah, I don't remember that. You sure? We went to this restaurant? Like, yeah. And she'll pull up on her phone and have yeah, that's a good call. You're right. 2016, we ate here on Christmas time. We went and had, Korean restaurant on Christmas Day with Scott Coker at this restaurant. I was like, yeah, you're right. That's awesome. They took us out on Christmas Day.
Congrats, Benson.
Thank you, man. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Ali, go. Umar, because of his English, way better than mine, but of course. Ali. Ali.
Looks like congratulations on the victory. Obviously, a very impressive performance. I guess just give us your thoughts on how you felt it went tonight.
Поздравляем вас с победой. Доминирующее у вас было сегодня выступление. Какие ваши мысли, впечатления о бое?
Thank you so much. I think I need to. Okay, wait.
I have to rewatch.
I have to rewatch my fight because of I don't remember this fight. Like too much, not a lot of emotion. No.
Well, you used a beautiful question mark kick to knock Benson down. Was that a kick coming in that you thought you would have and use tonight, or just something you saw in the moment?
Очень успешно у вас прошел удар ногой по вопросительным знакам, чтобы его сбить. Это было что-то запланировано или это случайно так получилось?
No, I all the time. I every time do this in my training camp, like all my life, because of I begin my career to Muay Thai, and this is not new in my technique. This is what I was. That's I don't show you guys, just now I show.
Nice. Also showed us the grappling skills as well. You got the choke. It wasn't easy. He had good defense. So were you concerned that you weren't going to be able to finish from the back?
Замечательный грэпплинг у вас был, и удушение прошло хорошо. У вас было подозрение, что, может быть, не сможете закончить, что он выскользнет, или вы знали, что вы его уже точно зацепили?
Grappling skills I improved with my brother Ali. He's here. Thank you, brother. And I
was not in rush.
Can I speak little Russian too? Я не торопил события просто потому, что я знал, что он очень крепкий, и я пытался его добить. Я понял, что добивая его, я могу чуть потерять свои силы, и это может сыграть со мной злую шутку, поэтому я забрал спину и начал работать со спины.
I was not in a rush to finish him because I knew that if I waste too much energy, he might get away and then it's going to cost me a lot. So I was taking my time, and then when I saw the opportunity, I grabbed it and I went all the way.
The quick win. What do you do now? I mean, you know, you've got the next round of the tournament, but you don't know when yet. You don't know who. Do you take time off? Do you keep training? What's the plan from here?
Победа была быстрой, но мы понимаем, что вам на следующий уровень, теперь на следующий бой надо готовиться. Вы будете какой-то перерыв делать, отдохнете или сразу за тренировки возьметесь?
We have Ramadan, and I think I will little rest, and after Ramadan, we're gonna be started like hard training. But I still training in Ramadan too, but hard training after Ramadan, inshallah.
Last thing for me, do you have any preference or prediction on who you face next? I know you say you don't ask for anybody, but is there a matchup that you like or you think is going to happen?
I honestly, I don't care. Even Barno, we're gonna be win or Brett. I really don't care. See you in second round with any. Done?
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is cool.
And we don't care if you speak in Russian. It's just Ali.
Okay, Ali, thank you so much, brother. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Thank you. Sorry about
Okay, let's open it up.
Scott, obviously, I know San Jose is always a fun spot for you. A lot of VIPs in the crowd. Big one tonight. I guess just give us your thoughts overall in the evening.
Well, I tell you, it was it's a special night. Obviously, 17 years ago, it all started here. We had the very first fight in the history of the state. Frank Shamrock fought against Caesar, but Nate Diaz fought on that card. Gilbert fought against Harris Sarmiento. Clay Guida fought Josh Thompson. Eugene Jackson fought on the card. I mean, it just, when I looked at all the old names, it was just a throwback to really the begin, like the begin, not the beginning, but the second stage of MMA fighters. So it was really something that I feel really good about coming into the building, and I knew we were gonna have a good crowd. I think that the fans here love great mixed martial arts, and I think we gave to them tonight.
Absolutely. Obviously a dominant win there for Usman in the main event. I just want to get your thoughts on him. It just seems to be, undefeated, young, and getting better at this point in his career.
Yeah, I think tonight was a really good test because Benson is a guy that has seen it all, and he was about to put a lot of pressure on Usman, and I think that Usman showed what he's made of. Right? I mean, he hit him with a nice shot, and for him to stop Benson the way he did, that was impressive. I have not seen that happen. I mean, how many times have you seen that to Benson Henderson? I mean, and I didn't know he was going to retire. Honestly, it caught me off guard. Like, oh man, this is going to be a special moment. And I told him, I said, hey, you're a legend. You've done it all. Like you don't need to do anymore. And he said, yes, my wife's turn now. So she's fighting on March 31st at Pachanga. And it's time for her career and their family now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what that meant. I mean, obviously you didn't promote his entire career. He had some championships before he came here, but yeah, watching him walk away tonight, I know you've seen his accomplishments. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was one of the first free agents that came over, right? Him and Phil Davis, Bader. I think Fedor came over early too. So he was one of the first guys that gave us a shot and to help us. And I knew that we would always count on him to have a great fight, great performance. And he's so well-rounded, and he's always in great shape, and he has a great gas tank, and he always brings it. So it wasn't his night tonight. It didn't work out, but man, just seeing him retire there, it really was a touching moment. And I think that, it's time, because now he would just be waiting for the tournament to be over, and then it'd be another year. And, I think it's the right time. And, now onward and forward to the next part of his career. Nice. Or his life,
I want to ask you about the co-main event, because it looked like this Grand Prix was going to get started in a really weird way. I guess I thought it was going to be a no contest before they rolled it to TKO. So I guess what was going through your mind as all that was playing out, and are you comfortable that the right decision was made?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at the video, the front kick is actually the one that did the damage, right? And I think that Masiev, I think he broke his rib, and he had shortness of breath, and he had the interpreter, the translator, so there's no misunderstanding. And that's why the referee brought the translator over so they could have a conversation. And he said, no, that's it. Like it's over. And really it was like I think more of a injured rib that was creating a shortness of oxygen for him, more than the heel that came down and had a glancing blow at the very end. But the original shot, the reason why they called it a TKO, and they talked about it, was the original shot was the one that did the damage. So that was straight in the solar plexus, and then the heel had a glancing blow on the way down.
Nice. Just two more real quick. It looks like we have two number one contenders, maybe, with Linton and MVP. They both kind of called for title shots. Does it look like championship matches for both of them next?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I know we have Jackson in the wings, right? So we have to be respectful to that. He's been waiting a long time, but I'm excited to get MVP back, get busy. I mean, this guy, so talented. He's so fast. And if you were to tell me that he was going to do a leg kick and take someone out with a leg kick, I don't know if I would have believed it, but that's how versatile he is. So good for him. And I've always enjoyed watching that guy fight, because he could do it all. So, we'll have him back in the cage soon. And I think he's ranked number 1 or number 2 now. And so he's gonna have to kind of hold tight until Jackson gets his shot, and then he'll get a shot after that.
Nice. Last thing about that leg kick, I was just curious if there was any update on Goichi and what his status is.
No, I'm sorry, we don't. I know we took him to the hospital, but they said, his manager actually texted me. So I think this came in from yes, it's been a busy night. he said, based on the X-ray, it's a patella tendon rupture. So that sounds very painful. And Masayev did break his rib. So that's it. The front kick definitely did some damage.
Scott, we had Sarah McMahon back here earlier,
Mhm.
another nice free agent signing by you guys. She mentioned that one of the reasons that she liked the thought of coming over here was sort of rebuild herself as a featherweight.
Mm.
You talked to us the other day about how if you don't know what's going on with Cyborg and, you know, she's sort of, you build the division around her. If she were to leave, maybe featherweight's not in your future on the women's side. But that's what Sarah came here for, kind of. So can you maybe clarify that? And
Yeah,
are we talking years down the road?
Yeah,
here?
listen, I wouldn't jump to conclusions, you know, because we're still in dialogue with Chris. We respect her. We think that she is, to me, the GOAT in the female division. She fought here, was it 2009 against Gina Carano in the very first female MMA fight on national TV to be the main event. So she's a lot of historical things and had a great success, a great career. So I wouldn't count that out. And then we'll make decisions based on what happens, you know. We still have, you know, some contractual rights to her until August. So let's see how it plays out. So it could be, you know, something that, you know, we're going to engage with her next week, start talking about, you know, what we want to do. But I still think we're in a very good position with her. I think she loves being here. I think we have a very good working relationship. We've been, you know, working together since 2009 or 2008, maybe. And, you know, I wouldn't count it out yet.
If she were to go, and I know you're saying, hey, she's just as good of a chance as she'll be back here. If she were to go, can you keep that division around and build it around somebody like Sarah McMahon, even though she's in her 40s?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Listen, we have contractual obligations to allow these females to fight. So yeah, the answer is yes. It doesn't have to be so black and white right now. I think that there's a little bit of a gray area, but it's onward and forward until we actually make a decision one way or the other.
And I mean, you've been in that position 100 times where you've got a star who's going to leave or you know, change direction in their career and you have to figure something else out. So it's old hat, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, one of the things we take pride in is, you know, the fighters that we want to keep, we're able to keep, you know, whether it was Strikeforce, right? Or whether it was here in Bellator, you know, the situation, let's say like for instance, Michael Chandler, right? Great talent. That was a business decision that we made internally to eventually pour more money into our lightweight division as a whole and pour more money into AJ McKee's and all the other and build a real lightweight division because it was really thin at that time. So, you know, sometimes, you know, you let an athlete go and there's business reasons behind it. It's not just, oh, let's let this guy walk or this girl walk. There's some business, you know, ramifications of what we're doing. And the outcome really is to make the league overall much healthier. And so, you know, the Cyborg thing is no different, but you know, with her, I feel good about it. Or, you know, when you're saying fighters come and go, I mean, in Strikeforce, we kept everybody really, you know, it's that we wanted to keep. And I think in Bellator, it's the same thing. We invest in the fighters that we want to be in business with.
And in terms of Linton, if he's going to rematch Bader, I mean, you get kind of a fun, unique situation that these guys fought for a title, a division down. Now they're going to fight for a title in a separate division, and that doesn't happen very often. So, I mean, do you see some fun ways that you guys can kind of promote that as a rematch?
Yeah, I think both these guys are better at heavyweight than they are at light heavyweight. And for whatever reason, they perform at a higher level when they're in the heavyweight division. So I'm looking forward to it because the Linton I saw today is not the Linton I've ever seen before. Moldowski is no joke. He is a real solid heavyweight, has great skills all the way around, has had a great training camp, obviously trains with Fedor and that whole team. And, you know, it seemed like Linton just dominated him and took it to him. So, you know, we look forward to promoting that fight. I think Bader should be the next opponent. We haven't talked to Ryan yet, so there's still some things to be discussed, but that's my goal, is to put that fight together as soon as possible.
Tonight's card had some pretty exciting finishes from fighters from the UK, Russia, and so on. And I know you guys have broadcast deals, and you know, for fans in those countries, they got to be up at the crack of dawn because MMA is a live sport. But nonetheless, you guys do travel a lot, and you visit as many countries as you can. So what's the plan going forward? Do you have new places you guys haven't been to you'd like to visit in the near future, as well as maybe new broadcast deals in areas that you haven't been before? I think you guys have a new deal in Brazil, I think, too.
Yeah, with Globo. Yeah. And we're excited about that. I said this before, and I said, if COVID didn't hit in the beginning of 2020, we would already be in Brazil now. And I don't mean just one time. I think we'd be building a business there, doing multiple fights with a TV partner, which now we have global. So, I feel really good about, maybe Brazil even at the end of this year or beginning of next year, but we will be going to Brazil to do a fight, a big fight with Bellator. And I think that the time is right, and we've waited long enough. We have a great business deal with Sakakibara in Japan, and we have a great relationship with RMC in France. We love going to Dublin. I mean, Dublin, Ireland, if you've never been there to see a fight, is unbelievable. It's nothing like you've ever seen. And love going back to the UK. We might revisit Italy at some point, but right now I think South America and Asia and keeping our footprint in Europe is our primary goal.
And talking about expanding your horizons, have you guys thought about more weight classes maybe as you pick up more talent in other countries?
I'll tell you, the one question, actually was Dan Lambert was asking me about Horiguchi, going down to 25, and would you guys consider having a division? So we're talking internally about having a 125-pound weight class division. It just hasn't been determined yet.
Do you have attendance for tonight by chance?
I'm not sure, but I know it was over 10,000. I'm sure we get that to you, in the next hour or so.
All right. And then also, can you describe any discussions you had with Luke Rockhold? Was there any attempt to get him on this card, or how do you envision?
No, I'll tell you honestly, Luke and I had a great conversation in LA during the Fedor fight. Dave Martin came out. We had a great conversation, and we were going to continue our dialogue. And I was hopeful that we would at least have another conversation to see if there was something to be done. But it seems like they got a really good offer from Mr. Kogan. How are you? But he got a good offer from Bare Knuckle, and listen, I don't blame him, man. He's a prize fighter, and he's going to go fight, and he's got to feed his family and take care of himself. So that's what worked out, and let's see what happens. I mean, it's to me, it was a little bit of a surprise, but this is a business, and friendship aside, look, Luke and I can go and play golf and hang out and have lunch and be boys, but this is a business as well. Okay, guys, thank you.